What's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Today's video is gonna come from my brain because I'm about to be a senior in college. I've gone through a lot of shit in my academic life during these 3 years, and now I'm finally gonna be on my last one. Thank God. There's a lot of stuff that I wish somebody told me about college that didn't revolve around, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of videos are a lot of the same thing, like, put yourself out there, go to all the clubs, like, very basic shit. But I want to give advice on kind of every aspect that I feel that I've been through during these past 3 years. So we're gonna have a couple categories. One is about rooming with people in your dorm, in an apartment, but rooming. And then the other one's simply like classes, teachers, the super academic stuff. The third category is gonna be kind of like being independent in the college atmosphere, because you really are by yourself. You gotta know some tips. And the last thing is just stuff to make sure you tell you when you're in college specifically. Now, disclaimer, these are all solely my opinion, my advice, based off my own personal experiences at my college. Things can be different. We can be different kinds of people. You can hear my family. So sorry. I'm filming, you buttheads! I'm filming! Hush your faces! Shut up! Everybody's different. A lot of people I've seen are very outgoing people, and nobody's really about like the antisocial or just not really out there, and that's okay. Going with the first one, being in a dorm, being in an apartment. My first year, I roomed inside, well, it was a suite style dorm, but it wasn't on campus. It was an off-campus one. And in my room specifically, I shared with 3 other people. It's a lot of people, but made it work. And we had our own bathroom, and then there were 3 other people in the suite, but didn't really interact with them. And then last year, I had one roommate with me, so we had a double, and then the girls next to us, they were in a double as well. And then this year, I was in a double again, and it was a triple. So I feel like I'm well versed in giving some advice. And the past 2 years, I've been in more of a college apartment rather than a dorm style, if that makes sense. Like, I had a kitchen and everything. My main tip with like buying stuff for your dorm, buying stuff for your apartment, is don't over buy. Like, don't think to get every single little thing, especially if you're a big spender. I'm a big spender, so I just kept accumulating stuff throughout the whole year, and I moved out with a lot of crap. I didn't have that much as a freshman because I didn't have a kitchen, but I had way more things, especially since I had a job. I was like, ooh, money. So I started spending things on a lot more shit. So if you know that you spend a lot of money, don't buy too much stuff. If you know that you're like really not gonna buy anything for your living, your lifestyle, like, then that's fine. But if you are a big spender, like moi de toi, then don't go in with too much. Go in like basic necessities. Your clothes, hygiene, don't even bring that much clothes, because you're gonna buy more. Trust. Whether it's online, at a store, at a thrift store, it's gonna come up. To also kind of go with that is just be realistic of what you bring. Like, if you don't cook often, don't bring cooking stuff. Don't try to convince yourself that you're gonna do it before you get there. Like, the way you should do this is like figure out your routine once you get there, and if you need to buy more things, then you buy more things. But once you've established a routine, so that way you don't have all this stuff that you're never going to use just sitting there collecting dust, and then it's going to be a bitch to move back, or you're going to just donate at the end. That's just a waste of money. And now with roommates, I haven't had an issue necessarily with my roommates from these past 3 years, but what I will say is that it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. There were some issues, and that just goes along with living with somebody that you just don't know. All these past times, my roommate that I have now, we've been together now for 3 years, but everybody else has been brand new. So you have to learn these people's different lifestyles. They have to adapt to yours. Like, it's a very communal space with 3, 4, 5 different lifestyles. So with that being said, set boundaries as you go. You can like set initial ones, like, oh, don't, I don't know, be loud at this certain time, or like just make noise in your rooms, shit like that. But as you continue to live with these people, you'll figure out stuff that you don't like about them, that you can compromise, not tell them what to do or have them tell you what to do, but compromise a solution, because it is all your living spaces. You are all not legally, legally is not the right word, but I guess legally, but you all have the right to do whatever you want in your own space, especially when you pay for it. But just be more open-minded of how you can change yourself, or how you can approach somebody to change themselves, shit like that. And then split the chores as best as you can and really try to stick to them. I admit I haven't been the greatest at this. The only thing I would really kind of stick to was taking out the trash whenever it was my turn, or cleaning the kitchen whenever I made a mess, because I would use and abuse that kitchen. So it's just doing your part. You guys all live in this space, take care of it. But that also says, like, if you're a clean freak, don't expect other people to be a clean freak like you, because it's two different kinds of people. And then the last thing with that, please communicate with your roommates and your suite mates. Please, please, please. And just don't assume things out of them. Like, if you don't like something that they're doing, bring it up to them. If it really does bother you, bring it up. Don't attack them when you do it, because they might not know that it's wrong. They just don't know. Like, you guys are going to be each other for the whole year. Might as well get to, or be at a respectful place with each other. Next, the classes and academic BS. Main thing that everybody does say is do not pick morning classes. Especially if you are not a morning person, don't pick morning classes. You thought you can do it in college because you did it in high school? No siree. You are not going to be able to do it. I thought I would. I did a 9 a.m. class, and good Lord, it was the most difficult thing to get my ass to. Difficult. For me personally, I do anything 11 and later, but anything before 11, like even 10 o'clock, that's hard. It's hard for me. Just don't do the morning classes unless you really, really have to, but try to avoid them as best as you can. And then another thing is, when you're about to register for classes, be prepared. There's a lot of people that kind of just go in head on. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on your major, depends on what classes you need. But it's always helpful to be prepared and know like a general idea of what you want to do for the next quarter, next semester, whether it's to fulfill a GE, to fulfill a major. Next, I keep a PDF, like bookmark, that I can highlight and stuff on my computer about my major specifically. This just helps me keep track of like which classes I haven't done or which classes I can take that fulfill different requirements. And specifically for my school, we call it gold, which is like where you register for classes, where you can see your transcripts, where you can see your progress checks. And what often I use my progress check to already see like, oh, which GEs I need to fulfill or how many units I need left, blah, 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 blah. Very helpful to keep a record of that, just in case you're like, I don't know where the PDF is all of a sudden, or that you don't feel comfortable speaking to an academic advisor, or I don't know, just something happens. Or even with like potential different majors or potential minors, it's very helpful to keep it stored and something that you actually can like highlight, because I highlight it off my computer. Another thing is, when you're picking classes, make sure you listen to Rate My Professors. If you have the option to pick different professors in the same class, go with the one that's at least a 3 or higher. Anything below a 3, you're not going to have fun. And make sure you read the reviews, as if there is some, because the reviews will tell you more than the actual score. Whether the teacher likes to assign a lot of homework, whether there's really lecture heavy, whether they really care about participation. Like, all these things from past students are gonna help, and please listen to them. If you're stuck with the one professor and you need to take that class, so sorry, you will have to suck it up. Or you can always wait until the next semester, quarter, if there's a near chance that they're not going to be the same professor. But make sure you do your research. Last thing is, don't be afraid to ask for an extension. I tell my friends this now. I ask for extensions all the time. Most likely they'll give it to you, whether it's due by the end of the day, due the next day. Just make sure that you say when you can get it done, so that way they're like, okay, this person's not just BSing it, they are gonna do it. They said they're gonna do it by this time, okay, I'm gonna grant them that much time. And just, if you have to lie, I'm not saying you should or stretch the truth, but do what you gotta do. You'll know from your TAs. Some of my TAs have been very open. Like, if you really do need an extension, no matter what the excuse is, just ask. Or if the professor is like, you need a doctor's note, don't take that for an answer. You're not required to submit a doctor's note. You just gotta say that you feel like absolute shit and really describe it. Because the more detail, the more uncomfortable they get. They're just like, yeah, do it. Just my few points, because I ask. And even if they say no, I'm like, but please, my quality is not going to be good. Third category of being an adult in your college area. 1, make a friend or 2. I know I was really lonely most of the time because I didn't actually make friends, nor did I really make the effort to have friends. But now I have a small handful of people that I can talk to, that I can just hang out with. Life's fun. Life, I could see it's a little brighter with some friends. So try to make at least one, whether it's your roommates or a coworker or a person from class. Put yourself a little bit up there, so that way you can actually attract the people that you want to be around. Also, don't be afraid to go outside of campus and campus town. I know a lot of people that stay within our college town. I like myself to be out of there, because I like to separate school and life. So I'm always, thankfully I have a car, so I can just drive wherever the hell I want to go. And I absolutely hate my college town. Well, I hate walking in there. I don't hate it. I just don't like walking within it. A lot of people I see that I don't want to see, And with that, learn the transportation around you, whether it's the bus or get a bike, get a scooter, something to get you out of there besides your 2 feet. I found it really helpful my first year learning majority of the bus routes that are tied in with the college town and learning streets. Oh my god, I cannot stress this enough. Learn where the hell you are. Learn the street names, because there's gonna be a time someone's gonna be like, hey, where am I meeting you up at? Hey, I'm picking you up. Where are you at? Or like your parents are coming. Somebody is. And especially to those who don't know the area, and you're like, yeah, in front of this, I don't know, the burrito place. They ain't gonna know that. Tell them a street name. It's a little more easier to be like, okay, I know a more general idea where you are because you gave me an actual name. Please learn streets. Even if you're like in danger, you'll know where the hell you are. Or if your phone's dead, you know where you are. Gotta know how to do things with you and not your phone. Next in general is just learn how to be by yourself. I've really appreciated my own solitude and being able to just go do grocery shopping by myself, go to the library by myself. I'm working on doing the gym by myself. I do have some gym anxiety, but that's besides the point. Or if you want to go to an event on campus and there's nobody to go with you, just go. Go to the movie theater by yourself. Enjoy the time with you. It's really such a nice experience. You bond with yourself, honestly. Next, please take advantage of all college resources that you can, whether it's EOP, DSP, CalFresh workshops, financial aid workshops. Like, take advantage. The tutoring, the library. Please. You pay this much damn money, you don't do nothing about it. I regretted not doing tutoring when I needed help. I should have done that. But and that's why I'm telling you, don't do what I did and ignore your college campus's resources. Also, get CalFresh. It is a lifesaver. Whether you're on work study or you're not working, or even if you work some, you'll qualify for something, unless you work way too much. But just try. It doesn't hurt to apply and ask. Unless that you really don't need it, then don't let it just accumulate, because you're taking away resources from somebody else who does need it. But if you know you're going to use it and that you're not going to just let it roll over, and now you have all this damn money that could have been used on somebody else that needed it, then don't do it. But if you really need it, you need it. And last two things is make sure you do your FAFSA sooner rather than later. Don't wait to the last minute, please. And then get a hobby. School's always going to be there. Work's going to be there if you are going to work. Get a hobby. I love my Switch. I love playing my games on my Switch. And now I have content creation, so it's a little easier to get my mind off things. But I know people who like to read. I know people who like to go running, do gym, exercising as a hobby. Just get your mind at peace. Self-care over anything. Alrighty, and here are some reminders to tell yourself. Be kind to yourself. You're learning how to be an adult. You're learning how to be by yourself. You're tackling a heavier workload. Be kinder to yourself if something slips up or that you don't know something. Having negative self-talk is not going to help you at all. If anything, it's going to make it worse. So try your best to be very open with yourself, open to criticism, open to change, and just let things flow. Also, let's not shit on other majors. Just because you're a STEM major doesn't mean that a liberal arts or humanities major is not as hard. Both are difficult in their own ways. So let's not shit on people's majors, nor comment on their workloads, because every person's different. I would say my major is an easy one, but there's times where the workload is just a lot, or like you're taking in so much information at once, it's it's difficult to process. But that's for every major. So don't be mean to other majors. With bad grades, it's inevitable. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just don't. It's not gonna matter in like 5 years. It's not. Especially if you're able to pick up the grade, or even if you did fail the class. It's okay. You are a human being. Stuff's gonna happen. And from what I learned in one of my classes is that there's a lot of factors that go into a learning experience that maybe it wasn't entirely your fault, or there were other circumstances where it was just difficult to keep up with your workload. Like for me, mental health has always been an issue for me. Feeling motivated going to class, feeling motivated to submit actual work, stuff like that is because of my own personal circumstances, but it's a part of how I got to where I got. Because I had failed a class last quarter, and I almost failed one this quarter. But I'm really trying to be okay with that, because I can't change it. And I know there was things that affected me which resulted in those kinds of grades. And I used to be a straight A student in high school, so my first D even broke my soul. But it really is C's get degrees, especially if you're not planning on going to grad school, you're not planning on doing a lot of things, like I'm not. But even if you are going to grad school, there's gonna be a school that's gonna accept you, regardless of your transcripts. So don't beat yourself up about it, even if it's a C. Like, yes, have standards for yourself, but also don't bully your own body and mind because you didn't do well on a class or an assignment. Also, college is not forever, so have fun while you're in it. As we like to say at UCSB, work hard, play hard. Because, oh boy, do we play hard. These are like the years where everyone's like, okay, yeah, they're just a student. You get some slack taken off when you go out, or that you do something other than work. But don't forget to do it, because you are here for a reason. But don't take the academics extremely seriously. Like, make sure you live outside of this. It's your first times by yourself, probably. Figure out how you function outside of school. Also, you really, really need to have an open mind about things. There is a lot of people with different opinions than you, and you gotta learn how to try to listen to their side of the story, even if you disagree with it heavily. Like, I've had my own fair share of shit, and thankfully with my major, I am exposed often to people's opinions that are different than mine, so it is a little easier for me. But you're gonna hear very interesting things come out of people's mouths. And last but not least, go at your own pace. It's actually really common for people to take 5 years to complete their bachelor's degree. It's okay. If you want to finish in 3, that's fine too. If you want to finish it in the 4, also fine. But don't feel like you have to finish early, or you have to finish within 4 years. College is going to stay there. It's okay to take the extra year, or the extra quarter, not even the full year. Just don't be so hard on yourself about it, especially if you can only take the minimum amount of workload. It's okay. If you can take more, that's fine too. But this is your academic journey. You dictate how to do it. That's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you got something out of this. Or if it just sounded like I was blabbing, which maybe it was. Hope you had an entertaining time. College is difficult. Don't let people tell you otherwise. And it's difficult when you have to do a job. It's gonna be difficult regardless. But just remember, you got yourself. You can do this. You really can. Even if you haven't been the best at grades, You got it. Anyway, that's it for today. Have a great Friday, y'all. See you next time.